everyone. I wanted to do this out on the front porch because it's beautiful outside, but the wind says no. Kind of like the life of the last 2 years. Total whirlwind. But first of all, I'd like to thank my donor. And I truly hope that I get the chance to make contact with her and tell her thank you myself. I was sitting on my couch this morning with my coffee and saw a hawk fly by, and I have wood ducks on the back pond, and it tried to get the wood duck. A few minutes passes by and here it comes again, but 3 crows stepped in and chased it off and said, "Not today." Story behind that for me is I thought of my donor. My donor took 3 tries, 3, to get enough stem cells for me. Somebody that she's never met, somebody she doesn't even know, total stranger. 3 times she said, "Not today, cancer, not today." Because of her, I'm alive, and I get to celebrate today 2 years. First year was a little rough with the graft versus host. That's okay, got past that, kept pushing forward. Year 2, trying to think. I know that I had my eye surgery to get rid of the cataract. And I still have like a flutter. They said that it's because my pupil will get sometimes larger than the lens that's put in there, and that my brain will accept it someday. And I shouldn't have that issue, but it is what it is. I see better. I have to go get new glasses here soon. But again, it's a great day. My kids and my husband and my dad threw a little surprise party for me on Saturday. It meant a lot. You know, some people aren't blessed with people recognizing the importance of your rebirth day. Without it, I had a very slim chance of being here today. Not getting a transplant was really not an option. I mean, it was an option. It's always an option. But if I wanted to see my kids and my grandkids and grow old with my husband, I needed to do what I needed to do to be here. So it wasn't, I didn't even think twice about it. It was an immediate, yes, I want to do it. I have an amazing team of doctors. Dr. Danish was the very first one that diagnosed me. And he wanted me at U of M with Dr. Bixby. And that meant a lot to me, that a doctor would just hand me over to where he thought it was best for me. Dr. Bixby has a wonderful team as well. They're very thorough. They listen to you, and it's a heartfelt listen. Heather, the PA with him, is phenomenal. She did all but 2 of my bone marrow biopsies. First one I was in Twilight Zone, so I didn't have a clue what the next one was going to be like. And her and the team that was in the room, and Richard being by my head talking me through it, helped a lot. It wasn't fun, it wasn't pleasant, but I got through it. It's things that you need to do, whether it's painful or not. There's just things that you have to do. The other one that I got in the hospital was by some, trying to be nice, some young lady that didn't wait for the meds to kick in. There's my brain not working again. The numbing. Didn't wait for that to kick in. Didn't wait for the Ativan to kick in. She said, well, I'll wait for a minute. And then she started. She just went at it. And when I yelled out because she was at the point where they break through, she pulled out and had to do it again. Needless to say, Richard was not happy. The next day when the team came in, he was my voice. He let them know that she was terrible and had no business doing my biopsy, especially when I requested to have Heather do my biopsies. Heather took care of the situation, and I never had to deal with anybody else doing it again. Needless to say, the day that he told the team, the young lady was standing in the back of the room, and Richard held back nothing. He said she was terrible. So hopefully she learned from it. That's all I can say, is I just hope that she learned from what she did. Dr. Maciejowski is also wonderful. He's the transplant team doctor. And Tim, the PA, and then there's Tate, the pharmacist. They all, every one of them, from the oncology to the transplant to the pharmacy, they all work together. They talk to each other in between visits because I see them both back to back now. I've advanced to once every 2 months, I'm sorry. So once every 2 months, I see the team, but I have to go back monthly for my pentamidine breathing treatments, since I'm still on Tacro, the immunosuppressant. And Dr. Mack knows when I'm having a hard time. And when I was in the hospital, he would even take the extra time and look at me in the eyes, and he just would say, "Are you okay?" And I would say yes, and he'd look at me and he'd say, "Are you really okay?" And then I'd break down and I would talk to him, and he'd reassure me that the setback was just for the time being and that we were going to get through it. That was when I had my graft versus host. Since I still have issues with, of course, my memory, as you can see. It's kind of funny sometimes when you start to put something away and it doesn't belong in the refrigerator, or it belongs in the refrigerator and it's going into the cupboard. I forget where I put the remote and I just had it in my hand 10 seconds ago. Same with my phone. Luckily I have my watch because there's a lot of Find My Phone throughout the day. Weakness, that's getting better. I still get tired going up the stairs. I don't trust carrying things up the stairs, so luckily Richard will do that for me. I'm a little sad today posting how happy I am about having life. And it's because I feel sorry for a family that just lost their loved one who was diagnosed after me. And she fought hard and lost her battle yesterday. So I'm a little emotional about that. Because I know that if my donor wouldn't have stepped up, I would have had a donor that was like half or less my match on the scale. Could have relapsed. There's all these coulda, shouldas. But I'm here. I am happy. I just want to send prayers out to that family as they go through this horrible time. I want to thank Richard for always being by my side, for seeing through me when I tell him I'm okay and I'm not having a good day. But I don't want to sound like I'm always complaining either, but walking outside with him the other day, I said, I just wish that I didn't have to deal with the stomach ache, the nausea, the other, and always run into the bathroom. It's, yes, you're happy to be alive, and I don't want to sound like I'm having a pity party, but there's the pains in my joints. It's like when I saw Dr. Bixby just this last visit, he was so happy with my blood results and my numbers, and he said that he feels confident to say that he doesn't see a relapse. So of course I got emotional and I said, so if I were going to be showing signs of it, it will show up on my blood work, right? He said, oh yeah. So I said, okay, so the aches in my bones, I have it in my hip area where it's in the bones. It's not muscular, it's in the bones. And then there's some knuckles that it's in my knuckles. I said, first thing that goes through my mind is my cancer's back. He said he understood. He said, but no, you're good. You are good. Your numbers are great. So try and get that out of your mind. Anytime I get sick, it's like the coughing or whatever I get like that. It was influenza A. And yes, I had the flu shot. I had the senior citizen dose of the flu shot. They said maybe it helped me not have it so severe. I don't know. I just know that when Richard was sick, he was in the basement. When he came through the house, he had a mask on, and he slept in a different room. So we worked hard not to, and he says, well, if he's ever sick again, he's just going to stay in the camper. And I said, that's not fair to you. But that's how he is. He's giving, caring, a wonderful caretaker. Without him, without my girls, their husbands, my grands, my dad, my friends, my cousin, I might just sometimes curl up in a ball and just go down a depressed hole and think, what the hell am I going through? You're not supposed to ask why. So I try to not say why. Sometimes Sometimes I get mad because my body just doesn't want to cooperate sometimes, and I say, I'm just going to be honest. I'll be talking to Richard and I say my stomach's being an asshole today. It's truth. It's what it feels like. So I'm trying to push myself a little more. And with the weather getting nicer, I will push harder. I don't want to overdo it, and then I'll pay for it the next day of just sleeping all day. So I just have to learn how to pace myself. I want to thank my girls for always checking on me, for making me feel so loved. My dad makes sure that I get out and see the world, because fear of all the sickness out there, just, it scares me. But I want to learn to overcome the fear. I want to embrace my life, accept it for what it is. This is the new me. And if that's how it's going to be, then I'm just going to learn to push through the stomach issues and just go for it. I have my cousin that Jeff is halfway around the world, maybe halfway, but he's out on his boat and sailing the world. And our thing is, we say, do you need the campfire tonight? And that's where we mentally meet and get things off our mind. We share on the keyboard what we're feeling, what our fears. We share the good times, not always just the negative in life, but we help each other through many things. I also have a friend, Karen, who we met online in an art group in 2020 through COVID, and we talked a little bit, and then it got to be more, and then cancer hit, and she stepped up even more. Somebody she's never met and just knows the person behind the keyboard. She was given Richard's number just in case of an emergency, and he could check. He would text her my updates when I was in the hospital. And there was one time that, I think it was my graft versus host, she was a little nervous, so she texted Richard and said, hey, I'm a little worried about her. Is she gonna be okay? And she stayed. We finally got to meet last year. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But prior to that, I had lost my drive to do art, lost the interest. I just fell into a rut. I was shaky, and I just didn't feel it. And she just kept saying, it'll come. Don't be so hard on yourself, just, it'll come back. She would send me little ideas of things that I could do, and she came up with the ink art, and I just went with it, and I found myself again. She never gave up. She constantly was gently pushing me, and to this day we are art partners in crime. We do online classes together. We share art supplies. Either I'll get some and I'll send them to her, or she'll do the same for me, or we just share it and say, hey, this looks like it's a really good thing. and it's fun. It's fun. I have Georgia. We talk a lot. We lean on each other. It's good to have somebody to talk to that shares different journeys but similar situations in some areas. And being there for each other has been a godsend. It's nice to talk to somebody that understands you. I gotta look at my notes here. If I don't take notes, or if I don't jot something down on my phone and I need to remember it, I'll forget. So meds, those are always done for 3 weeks, and that way I know I don't forget. But I have forgotten once recently to take my nighttime meds. Not really sure how it happened, but it happened. Let's see, eating. I have lost 98 pounds. Thank God I was way overweight when I started, because I'm not trying. I'm not trying to lose weight at all. As a matter of fact, I try to stop myself from losing weight. I eat whatever I can, whenever I can. I force myself to make sure that I do eat. Like today I had a half of a sandwich, only ate 3/4 of it, did some vegetables, some pretzels, and I did my dessert because I had cheesecake for my birthday. So I did have some cheesecake, and the cheesecake or something else didn't agree with my stomach, but we're through that right now. And on days that I absolutely don't feel like eating, I will make sure that I drink a protein drink to try and at least have some protein. Thin skin, and I just rubbed it. Anyway, that's another issue. I bruise easy. I tear easy. That's another tear. There we go. But that's okay. I have protective sleeves for my hands and stuff, which I'm going to start wearing because it's starting to get to where we get outside, and plus the dog loves to play. I'm still tired. And there are a lot of people in my group that say they are many years out, and that is their new normal, that they suffer fatigue as well. So I do at least one nap a day. Some days I'll skip it, but not many, because I'm just exhausted. I may not do much of nothing, and I'm exhausted. On the days that I do have energy, I go ahead and I'll do what I need to do and try and get things done and not overdo it, because then the next day I'm totally beat. But all in all, I try to stay up on everything, and I'm honestly blessed that I have a wonderful husband that chips in and understands when things aren't done on a day when he gets home, things that I've wanted to get done. You know, I really wish that I could be more energetic and do more, but again, such is life. I mean, I might get it back, maybe, but if I don't, this is my new life. And again, I need to accept and I need to embrace it. And I need to stop being so hard on myself. I need to stop being angry about it and be more thankful, because it could be worse. There are so many people that have it worse than me, and I really shouldn't be complaining. that's really about all that I have on here. I am really thankful for everyone that has stayed by me, walked this journey, still checks on me, still watches these blah 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 videos. I just pray so hard that I can meet my donor. It just means so much to me that I hopefully get to grow old with my husband, that I get to watch my kids become grandmas, and that I get to become a great nana, that I get to watch my grands get married, see them graduate. So I'm going to do everything I can to be here, grow old, with or without hair. Thank you guys for watching, and thanks for all the rebirthday wishes. Not many can celebrate 2 birthdays in a year, but I get to, and for that I am very happy, very grateful, and bring on terrible twos. Have a great day.